This one's for all you hustlers out there. What's up, socials? Welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk to you about how I made my first $100 on the internet. I feel like there's a million resources out there that are teaching you different ways that you can monetize a business if you want to start one and you're not really sure what your product is, how to develop that, how to work toward a business model that will help you make money in a more passive way. Passive is a term that's thrown around a lot. I'm not saying that it's always passive. Trust me, it's not. I work a lot for somebody who makes some passive income. I think it is useful to get a feel for what does it really mean to make $1 online that may or may not actually be from an hourly or retainer service or a specific product. So I figured the most useful way to tell you about this is not just to speak in theory, but to actually tell you how I made my first couple bucks online, especially at a time where I was a little bit insecure about it, wasn't really sure how to do it, and I knew I just needed to try something while also absolutely making it worth it for the customer. If you like this kind of content, make sure you hit the like button on this video because that would be quite aligned with liking the topic. If you like the topic, you should like the video. Do you see how those two things go beautifully together? The reason this topic came up is I actually was in an article recently in Huffington Post written by my friend Christina Nicholson, who I actually just met in person this weekend, ironically. The article is called "Don't Create a Course Without Reading This First." Lots of good opinions from a few different people, including myself, where I talked about how important it is to make sure you're creating something that your audience actually wants. If they don't want it, they can't become your customer because they will not buy it. I feel like a lot of people create a product and think it's going to go amazingly and lots of people will buy it, but they didn't really take the necessary steps to find out if it's something that they wanted. So that's what I talked about in this article and what I'm going to elaborate on today. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I do not make every single dollar that I make for my business online. My business started as a social media execution company, which meant that I helped other businesses do their Facebook or their Twitter, etc. So at this point in time, when I made my first online money, I was doing those services for customers. That requires a lot of time and a lot of focus on each individual client. And I just thought, I know I can help more businesses. And I was doing that with the YouTube channel in a free capacity. But I thought if somebody wanted to work with me, but they didn't necessarily want to hire me to do it, I might still be able to help them as well. More than a YouTube channel could, but less than a full-time I do your social media execution for you. So the key here to making money online was to make sure of a few things. I did not want to lose any time because I definitely needed the majority of my time in business to be for my clients. I did not want to discount my fees. So even though I was looking for a different way to package what I did, it was not going to mean that the value was any less. And I also didn't want to compromise my vision. There's probably a million other things I could have done to make money online, but I wanted it to be in line with the resume I was building. A social media expert with a forte in video and teaching businesses how to do all of that. So this is how I came up with the idea for an online class. I thought I am going to teach businesses how to do this, but in a different way than I do it with my full-time clients. But the question still remains, does anyone want this? I mean, this is 2012 that I'm thinking about doing this. Really not a lot of businesses are thinking about video as much as they should be, much less vlogging as a part of their business. And here I am trying to teach it. So it was a total variable as to whether or not I was even going to have people who are interested in it. I had to figure that out first before building out all the curriculum for this thing I was going to teach people who only if they paid for it. Why would I do all that work if no one's told me they want it? Now, of course I have people watching my videos and saying, we want this, we want more education behind this, but people say they want things, it doesn't always mean they want to pay for things, okay? That is the key of this entire discussion. Just because someone says they want something doesn't mean they will pay for it. So the key is the demand, I want it and I'm willing to pay for it. That's where the sweet spot is for building a business online. Obviously, that's where the money comes from. So here are the steps that I took. I designed an entire class. I outlined everything I would teach, how in-depth we would go, the benefits of which, and I made a sales page for that particular class. And this was going to be shared with my community about a month before it would actually take place. The sales page itself was more advertising a pre-sale of a class, naturally, because the way people were going to see it in terms of timeline was going to be in advance of the class actually happening. So you have some time here to say, okay, we need to find out if people are going to join so that we can actually build the class out, and then teach it on the date that we promised it. The sales page was a class for $97. Okay, so maybe it wasn't my first $100 online, but it was definitely my first $97. I shared that sales page with my email list, a group of people who were watching videos, subscribed on social media and saying, we love what we're learning from Amy, so we want to subscribe to email so we don't miss anything. That is a very targeted group of people who already know, like, and trust me, and therefore are the best people to receive a notification about a pre-sale of my brand new class. I sent them the class sales page. It was a $97 class, and if I got any bites and they had a deadline as to when the price would go up, I would make the class. And in that first day that I sent that email out to only probably a few hundred, not even 1,000 subscribers on my email list, I had 8 purchases in the first couple of hours. To me, that was just like mind-blowing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just sold a product. Like, first of all, that's crazy. But a product to 8 people because of what I've proven I have the ability to educate on. Not to mention the fact that that money was sitting in my bank account, and that is the best motivation for actually building the class that people said they wanted. Why? Because they actually said it with their wallet. Now, in most cases, you should probably have a minimum number of class sales or whatever product you're creating before you'll actually create that thing. And then if it doesn't work out, you refund all the money, no big deal. But 8 was more than enough for me because I was like, cool, I just scaled some of my time. And if these 8 people in the first couple of hours are telling me they want this, then I'm totally in. I know I can sell this going forward because I know these 8 people believe in me, they want this, and I can always improve it and make it better so that more people will want to buy it, which did happen. More sales came in the rest of the day as I continued to check my email because I realized I was actually selling the course, which was crazy. And then more people over the next few days before the price increased. And so no, it was not my first $100. At first, it was my first $97. And then I multiplied that by 8. And that was the first money I made online. These days, this kind of thing happens all the time. There are courses and classes and online products being sold like crazy. And I think the key thing here is this: testing the audience and making sure that they want what you sell. Because there's a lot of competition and there's a lot of work that you have to do to build the rapport with people that will make them say, we want to buy this from you and not anyone else in this space or any of your competitors, even if they know your competitors exist. The only reason why I was able to make those dollars in those first couple of hours is because I did a lot of work for days and weeks and months and years on the YouTube channel. So remember, that is a lot of give before you can take. And then when you take, you have a lot more give you have to do in order to make it fully worth it for people. But there's absolutely amazing ways that you can be making money to go after the life that you want, leveraging the internet, if you do what you got to do to get your brand where it needs to be. If you're interested in learning more about this, we talk all about this in my programs at vlogbosuniversity.com. So go and check that out. That's how I made my first $100 online. I thought that'd be a good story for you guys to really hear what it was like to be on the back end of something like that. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Do you have any more questions? Is this something you want to explore more of? Maybe we should talk about it in another video. Let me know. That's all for today's socials. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. As always, make sure you subscribe for good vibes, and remember to keep doing the work, do the tests, get to know your audience, and build your brand so you can continue to go after the life you want. Cheers.